People, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Alex, and I already dropped some YouTube videos today, so I guess I'll do one tonight so I don't have to do it tomorrow, because I have some more job interviews, and I think one of these jobs selected me for a job, but I gotta find out if it's a permanent part-time position or temporary part-time position. But that's not why I'm making this YouTube video. The reason why I'm making this YouTube video, I'm gonna call it Sex Game. Um, what would be a good catchy title? Let's see. Sex Game, How to Be Number One. Now, the reason why I'm calling it Sex Game, How to Be Number One is because after dropping today's video, which was like 4.5 hours ago, there were some women who saw the YouTube video. So I say thank you to the black women and the white women and the Mexican women who saw my video. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, and I have to say, but, there's always a but in these movies. But, you gotta stop taking titles of videos so literally personal. The video is not a personal attack on men. It's not a personal attack on women. It is to give an aspect about what's wrong with men trying to go on Facebook and use Facebook to try to make women take them out to lunch and dinner, and I already explained what men's problem is. Now, some of you women thought I was trying to insult your intelligence and make fun of you in the YouTube video. There was no making fun of black women, white women, or Mexican women in the videos. See, the videos I make come off very controversial because in order for me to explain the math and science of a problem and how to solve it, it requires giving out prime examples. And some of y'all like to react off the name of a title. For an example, when I made the video called McDonald's versus Burger King, I talked about my good and bad experiences eating at restaurants. And a lot of you have some good experience and some bad experiences at eating at fast food places. A lot of you watched the video. A lot of you could relate to the video. See, when I named the title Sex Game Women, Facebook is like a woman's cell phone number. The reason why I call it that is because in social media and today's media, a lot of men ask women for their Facebooks, and it's just like asking for a cell phone number, and the man always whines and complains that the girl doesn't respond back to the messages. That's why I said you could relate to this if you were in high school and college or at work or at the gym. Now, if you think I'm throwing you under the bus, that's not the case. Don't put words in my mouth because that's not what the video's about. The video is trying to explain to men that we make a lot of mistakes and we're not perfect. Women make mistakes and they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Any man or woman that thinks they're perfect, there's something wrong with them. Now, this video is going to be called Sex Game, How to Be Number One, because I have to now explain in this video about what happened in the other video. See, I'm about to throw some sports names at you that you're very familiar with. Let me use Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., arguably one of the best, one of the greatest professional boxers of all times, hands down, Money Mayweather Jr. Or you can say Floyd Mayweather Jr., one of the best professional boxers of all time, 8-time world champion in 4 different weight classes. He's an 8-time champion in 4 weight classes, 50-0 undefeated, been boxing for about almost 20 years. That's 2 decades in professional boxing, and is a master when it comes to being in the ring, and he's a master outside the ring. Now, the reason why I'm going to use Floyd Mayweather Jr. as a prime example is because there's something that Floyd Mayweather Jr. said 10 years ago that stuck with me and it originated. And that is the concept of numbers. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. said there are men who lie about being rich and famous, there are women who lie about being the most beautiful, attractive woman on the planet, he said men lie, women lie, but the one thing in this world that never lies is numbers, because numbers, they never lie. And you see, what I've learned from is when Floyd Mayweather first started his boxing career, nobody, and I mean nobody, liked it Floyd Mayweather Jr. Nobody wanted him to express himself. Nobody wanted him to come out and talk. It was just go in the ring and box. And I remember Floyd Mayweather was complaining about how women did not find him physically attractive in the beginning of his boxing career. I think for the first 6 or 7 years, nobody cared that Floyd Money Mayweather was undefeated. I think he was like 5-0 or 10-0, and he was talking about I won 10 fights and no one's paying attention. And then I think he got into an argument with a black woman. This was like 15 or 16 years ago, and the black woman said, "Talk to me when you're like 25 or 30-0." And Mayweather was like, "Okay." And when Mayweather got to 15-0, and then 20-0, and then 25-0, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, he was 30-0, just constantly winning fights. And all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, everyone was a fan of Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know what I learned about being number one, not just on YouTube, but being number one in every category: martial arts, going to the gym, filmmaking? They all have something in common. And you know what they all have in common? Nobody likes you in the very beginning of your development. Remember those dark times in high school and college? Nobody liked you, nobody respected you, but all of a sudden you got real good in playing basketball and football, and if it led to professional basketball, if it led to professional football, out of nowhere, everybody loved you. Not all those people liked you. They were a lot of the people who like you because you played basketball or football, but before basketball and football, nobody liked you. Same thing for the women. A lot of the women in high school and college might have been the most popular, most drop dead gorgeous, physically, sexually attractive woman, and nobody liked the girl. The girl was popular. The girl was on the cheerleader team. The girl was the high school class president. And you're going, well, she's the high school president. How could you not like that? You had girls jealous of other girls. You had men jealous of other men. Now, you probably might say, Alexander, get to the point of the video of the message. The point of the video is that nobody likes people in the very beginning of their development. It's always towards the middle or the end of their run that they're liked and well respected. It wasn't until Floyd Mayweather Jr. did 16 to 17 years of professional boxing to make it a total of 20 years, that's 2 decades. And by the time the man was 50 and old and done the one thing people said he would never do, that's fight Manny Pacquiao and beat Manny Pacquiao, because now there's talks of a rematch, because some people felt like that if you could fight him at 100%, you should have fought him in his prime. That's what always comes up. Mayweather should have beat this man in his prime. Let's take another prime example of someone that was never liked and never respected until they died. And when I say this name, you cannot argue or refute me in this, and when I mention this name. Tupac Shakur. The first 6 years, nobody liked Tupac. Tupac would express himself on the radio, in his songs. Whenever Tupac was in front of a news crew, Tupac would always stand in front of the camera and talk about what goes on in the world. And a lot of people said they didn't want Tupac talking about political stuff. And Tupac talked about political stuff. Like, I'm serious. When Tupac first came out, wasn't nobody listening to Tupac. I remember that like it was yesterday. Nobody was listening to any Tupac. I remember they tried to compare Tupac to all the guys that came before. There was like, he ain't no Rakim. He ain't no LL Cool J. He ain't no Ice Cube. He ain't no Eazy-E. Like, they were actually saying that Tupac was not on that level. It wasn't until 1994, 1995, when Tupac got out of jail and hooked up with Dr. Dre, that all of a sudden everybody was now a Tupac fan. Before he got with Death Row, nobody liked the Tupac. I don't care what city or state Tupac went to, nobody liked the Tupac until he hooked up with Dr. Dre. Even when you look at 1996, the year that Tupac was gone, all of a sudden everybody likes Tupac. Here goes another one, Notorious B.I.G. Nobody liked the Notorious B.I.G. in the beginning of his rap career. Guy puts out one album, a lot of people like, he's okay, he's alright. He ain't as good as Tupac. He put out his second album, and then when something happens, all of a sudden everybody likes Notorious B.I.G. And Tupac was the first person to say this. Tupac said, nobody likes you in the very beginning of your development, but towards the middle or the end, all of a sudden you're well liked and well respected. Same thing if you look at sports. I remember Kobe Bryant first came in the NBA. Nobody liked it, Kobe Bryant, when he first came in professional basketball. They thought Kobe Bryant talked too much. They thought Kobe was arrogant. They thought Kobe was a Mr. Know-It-all. I mean, for the first 5 or 6 years, nobody liked the Kobe Bryant. It wasn't until Kobe did what he did that when Kobe won back-to-back NBA championships that you could kind of see that some people finally accepted Kobe Bryant. Same thing with Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all times, the late great Muhammad Ali. Nobody liked it, Muhammad Ali, his first 5 or 6 years of professional boxing. Nobody liked it, Muhammad Ali. It wasn't until 8 years later when he had finally came face to face, man to man, eye to eye, God rest his soul, rest in peace, Joe Frazier, in their first championship fight. Joe Frazier was the heavyweight champion, and when Ali had his first fight against Joe Frazier, and when Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier, now everybody likes Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali was, at that time, the greatest fighter, but it took him losing to Joe Frazier for people to like Muhammad Ali. Same thing with Evander Holyfield. When he came up in the heavyweight division, nobody liked it, Evander Holyfield. He was a nice guy. He was a good guy. He respected everybody. And nobody liked that about Evander Holyfield. But the guy loses to Riddick Bowe twice. All of a sudden, everybody likes Evander Holyfield. The guy fights Mike Tyson and beats Mike Tyson twice. Everybody hates Evander Holyfield. He fights Lennox Lewis and loses to Lennox Lewis twice. They like Evander Holyfield. Same thing with Lennox Lewis. Also well-respected 3-time heavyweight champion in professional boxing. Nobody liked him until the guy lost his first championship fight. And when he knocked out Mike Tyson in 2002, Mike Tyson said, y'all need to learn how to respect Lennox Lewis. And Lennox Lewis' thing was, it took him 16, 17 years of professional boxing for people to like Lennox Lewis. It took his whole boxing career. So what I've learned about being number one is that in the very beginning, nobody likes you, nobody respects you. The reason why I'm making the video is because you got all these up-and-coming YouTubers, and they may want to know what happens when you become number one. Not everybody's going to like you when you become number one. Not everyone's going to respect you when you first become number one. Tupac is a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say the first 5 or 6 years, nobody was listening to Tupac. It wasn't until 1993, 94, around 95 when he did California Love, everybody loves Tupac. Same thing with Notorious B.I.G. It weren't until he did his second album. And Eazy-E even said it. When he first did his first album, a lot of people really weren't feeling Eazy-E. It wasn't until Eazy-E did the second and third NWA albums, and then his second solo album, and it wasn't until he signed Bug Thugs and Harmony that now everybody liked it Eazy-E. Right when these guys fall apart in their prime of their career, all of a sudden everybody likes these guys. Same thing if you mention Michael Jackson, the King of Pop. Now, he, on the other hand, was a different story because in the beginning, everybody loved Michael Jackson. For like almost 10 to 15 years, everybody loved Michael Jackson. And it wasn't until 93, 94 that all of a sudden people went from liking Michael Jackson, the King of Pop, to hating him. And it wasn't until like almost 3 decades later that when Michael Jackson decides to say, I'm about to do This Is It, people go from hating Michael Jackson to liking Michael Jackson. Same thing with Prince. When Prince first came out, nobody really typically liked Prince in the beginning because he had a fallout with Rick James and things of that nature. And it was later in his career, like in his late 30s, early 40s, that all of a sudden people liked Prince. And then the same thing that happened to Michael Jackson, people turned on Prince. And then it was a while before Prince could get redemption. Same thing in Hollywood. There would be a lot of actors that start off real great, and then for whatever reason, they either say something stupid, do something stupid, and it almost ruins their whole career. A prime example of this is Mel Gibson. He started off real good in the first 10 years of his career with those Lethal Weapon movies, and then somewhere around 2001, 2002, all of a sudden everybody turns on Mel Gibson. So the purpose of me making a YouTube video called Sex Game, How to Be Number One, is me trying to explain to young guys that when you become number one on YouTube, not everybody's going to like you. Not everyone's going to respect you. Not everyone's going to understand the message of your videos. So I'm just trying to explain in this video how I personally feel. So this video, the reason why I'm naming off sports athletes and rap artists is because I'm trying to tell you each and every single one of them all had the same problem. Jay-Z even said it in a number of rap songs. When you first come in the rap game, they all try to play you. And he said he didn't get his national praise until almost 20 years later. Right when Jay-Z was getting ready to retire, that's when everybody liked Jay-Z. Same thing with LL Cool J. In the beginning, when LL Cool J first came, a lot of people liked it Run DMC. They weren't sure about LL Cool J. It wasn't until LL Cool J started to go into movies and television that all of a sudden people liked it LL Cool J. And it's the same thing with me. I am no different, no exception to the rule. I don't expect everyone to like my videos. I do not expect everyone to look at me with national praise and attention. Now, am I a bit arrogant? Yes, I am a bit arrogant. Do I have my good days and my bad days? Yes, I have good days and bad days. By the end of the day, we're all human beings. We have good days, we have bad days. I have my good moments, I have my bad moments. But make one thing clear. It's what Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. said best. Numbers, they never lie. And guess what? It's not until the middle or the end of your career that all of a sudden people like you. I've noticed that when you become number one. It ain't you become number one and everybody like you. Like, to do that is like a fantasy. Because if you were to become number one and everybody like you, there would be no challenges. There would be no room for improvement, no room to grow. It's like what Calvin Calder-Hurt said on his radio show 10 years ago. He said somebody needs to be the central hero and somebody has to be the central cast villain. You can't have everyone be the superhero. Someone has to be the bad guy. Somebody has to be the villain. And that's a true saying. So some people, one group of people think I'm the hero because I tell the truth. And then another group of people think I am the supervillain from the Avengers, Tarnos, from the Avengers. A lot of people think I am the supervillain Tarnos because I love to tell the truth too much. And sometimes they feel like they want to get me for telling the truth too much. So you got one group that loves the truth to be told, and then you have another group that does not like the truth to be told. So for people who ask how difficult it is to be number one, I basically made a video about being number one. And there's even a rap song. Remember Nelly's rap song? What does it take to be number one? Even in that rap song, Nelly described what happens when you become the number one hot-selling rap artist. Everybody wants the championship belt. Everybody's gunning for you. Everybody wants to knock you off the top of the mountain. Remember when 50 Cent first came out? Remember when 50 Cent made rap disses to all the rappers of the 80s and the 1990s? In the very beginning, nobody liked it 50 Cent. It weren't until 50 Cent started to do movies and television shows that all of a sudden everybody liked it 50 Cent. Same thing with The Game. When The Game came, Nobody liked the game in the beginning. It wasn't until the game started doing movies and television shows that people liked the game. So in the beginning, people don't like you. Towards the middle and the end, all of a sudden they like you. And it don't matter if you explain yourself very perfectly in the video. You're gonna get one group that understands, and unfortunately, it's a part of the life, it's a part of the game. You're gonna get some people who don't understand where you're coming from, no matter how you explain. So I'm not trying to take up all your time tonight. You got more important things to do than just watch my videos. You got your bills you have to pay. You got to go to work, you got to go to school. So I'm just making the video so I don't have to make it tomorrow. But this should kind of explain the videos that I made before this one. Because some women might think, oh, he's arrogant. He talked about us. So, and I'll probably make a future YouTube video called What's the Difference Between Good Looking Men Trash Talking versus guys that are not good looking trash talking, and why group can get away with trash talking and why another group can't get away with trash talking. We'll see how well received that video is. Until then, peace.